What's going on? What's going on? It's your man Miles C219 TV Midwest Connected, man. Teach for life, and let's not forget. GoFundMe is not life insurance, man. We just over here at 219 TV. We bring you the latest topics and trends through a Midwest lens with a little GI perspective. And, we want to touch back on some things because this is the time to protect yours, do what you got to do with these allegations against Jay. And it was funny how, a lot of people had Jay Cook, man. They have him cook. I was hoping that, but it's not saying, everything's alleged, you know what I'm saying? Of course, the allegations is alleged. The situation is alleged. But what's not alleged is this clip right here. We got the lady and the lawyer kind of backtrack. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they kind of backtrack. Will this help Puff? In his case, that remains to be seen. But for right now, as far as Jigga, Jay Hoven, you know what I'm saying? Marcy's, Jay, Brooklyn. Well, let's tap into what they said about him, man. First, we want to tap into we got something about the late, but I'm gonna let y'all hear. Let me know what you think, man. Drop something in the comments because a lot of y'all had Jay Cook. Let's just keep it real. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna speak on that a little bit. So we got a little exhibit 1 right here. We got Exhibit A. We got Exhibit A. Exhibit A. We have Jay addressing, well, not Jay, but his people addressed the inconsistencies of the stories that was dropped. I'm just gonna let y'all hear a little bit of this. And I want y'all to let me know what you think. Just that simple, man. Drop something in the comments. We're gonna let them cook. See what they had to say about it. This is shout to Eagles, you know what I'm saying? Shout to Jay Smooth. That's what it's gonna come and get these things. We reacting to what they said about the situation. But I want y'all to let me know what you think. Here we go.
Standing his ground after the Alabama woman who recently filed a rape lawsuit against him and Sean Diddy Combs addressed the inconsistencies in her allegations. The rapper, whose real name is Sean Carter, calls out her attorney for submitting a quote false complaint against me in the pursuit of money and fame. As Carter tells E! News in a statement on December 13th, this incident didn't happen. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. His attorney, Alex Spiro, adds to the statement, it is stunning that a lawyer would not only file a serious complaint without proper vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. The women's attorney, Tony Busby, told NBC News that her case was previously vetted by another law firm and that his firm does their quote best to vet.
I got to show.
Vetted by another law.
Look at how the sister look at them. Look at the sister looking at them. That right there is a telltale sign. She worked for you. She like, man, I told you to chill out, bro. I told you. Man, okay. She hoping they don't get the looking in her bit.
A firm, and that his firm does their quote best to vet each claim they make. In the lawsuit, the woman alleges that Carter and Combs sexually assaulted her in 2000 at a New York after-party for the MTV Video Music Awards. She says in her filing that she ran to a nearby gas station after the alleged attack and called her dad for a ride home. However, in an NBC News investigative report published December 13th, her father said he does not recall picking her up following the alleged incident. Furthermore, a celebrity the woman alleged to have spoken to at the party told NBC News that he was not in New York at the time. And while the inconsistencies does not necessarily mean the allegations are false, the woman said in a December 13th interview that she, quote, may have made a mistake in identifying, adding, honestly, what is the clearest is what happened to me and the route that I took to what happened to me. Not all of the faces there are as clear. Still, the woman stands by her overall allegations, with her attorney Busby saying that it's possible her father misremembered the night in question. Telling NBC News, his daughter explains that he was in no state to remember during that point in time due to personal issues he was having then. We are talking about a time frame more than 20 years ago. Meanwhile, an attorney for Combs, who's been accused of sexual assault in over 100 civil lawsuits, has said that the rap mogul maintains his innocence. Sharing in a statement to E! News on October 1st, he cannot address every meritless allegation nation in what has become a reckless media circus. That said, Mr. Combs emphatically and categorically denies as false and defamatory any claim that he sexually abused anyone, including minors.
Okay, man. Right there. Man, we're gonna let him hold that, you know. Puff, he did the right thing. He jumped on there like, yo, she lying, you know, but Puff, you got it. One at a time with yours, Puff. But as far as Jake, we'll get back to Jake, Puff, you got the situation different. Now, this is a win for Puff. If you want to say it's a win in this situation, you know what I'm saying? He got one case. He kick her to the cup. She might not get no case. You know what I'm saying? But Jay said all rip. You know what I'm saying? Nah. We ain't waiting on the tapes to come out. Anyway, so it's just the confidence that he's speaking with. And sometimes you might have to, you know, you got to look at that. They're not saying that, you know, shout to any victim that's been a victim in those situations. That's a real situation that's not to play with. But to the victims, don't play with the victim's trauma, not creating trauma. And you know, they cast that doubt in those situations. That's what makes you crazy right there. So by her doing that, by her saying her father might not have recalled, because you know, in her statement, what happened, she left into a gas station. How many gas stations is right up the street from a mansion? I don't know. Most mansions is in like 9 minutes. You know, every area I seen a mansion in, I ain't seen a gas station on the corner. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? So how far away she lived in Rochester, 5 hours away, 13. So you in New York, like I said, but you know what? Let me get to this next situation. Let's get to this next one. It sheds a little more light on the situation as a whole. We got a little clip right here on the situation as a whole. Right there. Fair use, you know, right there. But yeah, this next one right here kind of speaks to the whole situation as a whole. They have we got a fair use. We got Chick Smooth. Well, we got something from my man Chick Smooth, who he does his thing on YouTube. We got a little clip right here where we have a female. She got her own thing on Instagram. She's a lawyer, so you know, give it to a sister to jump in and be like, hold up. Some don't really sound right. So she kind of went over the thing and she kind of read through the documents and she just kind of was putting 2 and 2 together. So I want y'all to know, let me know what you think. When you hear this, y'all just heard it from E! News, you know, allegedly, but so we don't come, we try to get much of our facts together before we come to y'all and get you Midwest connected with the Midwest. We got to hear everything. We don't just side with the East, we don't just side with the West, we don't just side with the South. Because we in the middle, you know what I'm saying? Without the body, you got nothing. So here you go. We're gonna make this decision. So let me know what y'all think, man. What y'all want to let me know what y'all think about this right here. Let's listen.
Have this uncomfortable conversation, all because Tony Busby wants money from me. Now, even after Jay-Z's response, a lot of people did not believe he was innocent. People who said, hey, well, if we're believing all women, why are we making an exception for Jay-Z? Well, sometimes things are not always black and white. Yesterday, Jay-Z's rape accuser came to NBC News and she actually acknowledges inconsistencies in her allegations, which you guys know is a no-no in court. If you're going to accuse somebody of something like this, you gotta make sure you got your story straight. And very importantly, you also got to make sure you're telling the truth and the incidents actually happened. Now, some of the mistakes she claimed she made was saying that her dad was actually the one that picked her up from the gas station. NBC News called up her dad and said, hey, brother, do you remember picking her up from this gas station about 20 years ago? Her pop said, no, I have no recollection of that. Not only that, but the celebrities that she claimed she spoke with at the party, some of those celebrities are coming out and saying, brother, I was not there. I was on tour. And also,
20 years ago is a long pops. Like, man, I don't know what the hell went on 20 years ago, but when that hard work get involved, a lot of people memories get jarred. Like, look here, bro, we wasn't even at what she talking about. This is a couple. This was a couple, Benji, some group, and she said she talked to them at the party. They like, yo, she ain't speaking to us because we wasn't even there. We was somewhere doing shows. Another whole different story.
Also, details about the actual location of the after party just doesn't seem to be true. She claimed the party happened at a mansion that was owned by Diddy. People got to researching and found out, Diddy did not own a mansion at that time. He was actually living in a townhouse. Shout out to this
I don't know who said that, but the TikTokers and YouTube and the internet, they just as good as the lawyers. You throw it out there, they gonna jump on. You know what I'm saying? They say they got pics of. They say it's 2 pics of Jay-Z, Diddy, and J-Lo in Lotus nightclub after the VMAs. Separate sections, and supposedly pics of Diddy and J-Lo in his townhouse in Manhattan. Townhouse, not mansion. If this the case, it make the whole accusation. They're saying they wasn't even. It's just just saying. Whatever. Do what you may with it. Drop some in the comments. Reach out there.
TikToker Black Girls Who Brunch, she actually broke down some of the inconsistencies from his statements. Here's what she said.
So I am an attorney. One of the areas of law that I have the most experience in is working with SA victims. So I worked on college campuses for the bulk of my career, doing investigations into Title IX issues. This often involves SA, harassment, stalking, exploitation, domestic violence, all those different things. I was a neutral investigator for the university, and I had to investigate these cases using the legal standard preponderance of the evidence, which means that it's like 51% chance this is what happened. That is the standard for civil cases. So what we're going to look at as I talk here is not that she lying, they made it up, it's a cash grab. We're going to look at, based off what they put in these court documents in the interview we saw, can they prove by a preponderance of the evidence in court that this happened? Based on what
he said she's lying. He just said, I ain't do it. So there we go.
I have seen, I'm going to say no. That does not make her a liar. That doesn't make this a cash grab. It doesn't make any of those things. My whole point here is that they cannot prove in court by a preponderance of the evidence that this happened. Now, in the interview, a couple things that stood out to me. So first off, we were very curious about where this girl lived at the time. So she currently lives in Alabama. At the time of this incident, she lived in Rochester, New York. Now, let's keep in mind, they're kind of dropping that off in this article like it's like Katy to Houston proper. That city is 5 hours from New York. 5 hours. So for this to work, I have to understand that somebody was, when she says that, I had a friend give me a ride to the VMAs. Saying giving me a ride to me implies they're going down the street. Driving 5 hours? That's not giving you a ride. That's a road trip. And this person had to drive you 5 hours, which is a whole commitment. Are you paying for the gas, the snacks, and then drive back home? I'm struggling with that. I am. Other thing is, she's from upstate New York, Rochester. I think that's considered upstate. I know people from that area. It is very different than New York City. She's also, as I can tell from the pictures, they've darkened her, but I do not think this is a Black woman. So I'm to believe someone from a smaller city. So she's not from like a LA, Chicago, Miami, because a 13-year-old from them kind of cities is going to be able to navigate spaces differently than a 13-year-old from a smaller mid-sized city like Rochester. I'm to believe that a 13-year-old from a smaller city was able to navigate New York like that. That just feels weird to me, and it's hard for me to imagine. I would need to have additional context about, well, how often did you go to New York? Have you gone by yourself before? Because I'm just having a hard time visualizing that. As I told you in my other video, this is just me. If I'm a juror, I'm gonna have a hard time visualizing how a white 13-year-old was able to move into this space and be, according to her, hold conversations with all these celebrities and not alarm anybody. That's odd to me. So according to her, she talked to the twins from Good Charlotte, Nicole Richie, or is it Cameron Diaz's husband, about his tattoos. This is I can't remember if it's Benji, which brother it is. And I talked to him about his tattoos, so he knows I was there. They reached out to Benji. Benji said, well, guess what? We weren't at the VMAs that year. We were on tour in the Midwest. And I believe that's something that there's probably really good documents of that, even though it's 20 years ago that you were on tour somewhere else and not at the VMAs. So there goes that part of her story. The other thing that I find to be interesting is the story is that she's assaulted, a woman celebrity witnesses the assault. They haven't said who that person is. She leaves and runs to a gas station. And I was I'm like, I need to understand how this works, because I grew up in the suburbs. Yes, you have gas stations, they're not always super close. So how long did you run? I was curious about that. According to her, she calls her father to come get her. And now my question is, where was your father? Because if he's at home in Rochester, that is a 5-hour drive to come get you in the city.
I've turned over 500 average 9-to-5ers into profitable traders in just 8 weeks using a little-known 3-phase system. And
what did you do for 5 hours? Were you just hanging out in this gas station? Like, that's an interesting, that's to me a big part of the story. So that part of the story is missing. And again, some of this could be missing because of trauma and time. Like I said, I'm not calling her a liar. I'm talking about what can you prove in court. That 5-hour time period, I think, is odd. Here's the bigger thing, though. NBC calls her dad. Hey, can you remember the situation? He says, I don't remember ever picking her up from an incident like that. He's like, I feel like I remember that. I don't remember that. Not having her father be able to corroborate that story, to me, the story is done.
Now, Jayz put out a statement yesterday after the girl admitted some mistakes in her statement. He said, today's investigative report proves this attorney Busby filed a false complaint against me in pursuit of money and fame. This incident didn't happen, and yet he filed it in court and doubled down in the press. True justice is coming. We fight from victory, not for victory. This was over before it began. This 1-800 lawyer doesn't realize it yet, but soon. Now, Jay-Z's lawyer also spoke out as well. He said it is stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without proper vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling this false story in the press. We are asking the court to dismiss this frivolous case today and will take up the matter of additional discipline from Mr. Busby and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. Now, Jay-Z started to receive some support from some of his colleagues. Biggs posted the interview the woman had with NBC.
In addition to having autism, the woman says she suffered a head injury. The night of the 2000s VMAs, she says a friend drove her from Rochester, New York to Manhattan, a more than 5-hour drive. Her attorney provided NBC News with the name of the friend who
I thought it meant that I was just pretty.
She went to a White House, she says, where she spoke to musicians Benji Madden and his brother.
I'm talking to Benji Madden about his tattoo because, I have about his tattoo that's the Last Supper because I have a religious background. So it was just something to talk about.
In a statement to NBC News, a representative of the Maddens confirmed that they did not attend the 2000 VMAs and that they were on tour in the Midwest at the time. At the after party, she says she had a drink that made her feel woozy. Then she says Combs and Carter took turns raping her while a female celebrity watched.
JC comes in and rapes me. He at that point I was fighting, trying to get away from him, and he put his hand over my mouth and told me to stop it, cut the.
After the alleged rape, she says she ran to a gas station where she called her father, who picked her up and drove her home.
We rode home in silence. He didn't ask me what happened. He didn't ask me what I did or where I was.
In an interview with NBC News, her father said he could not verify the claims. Quote, I felt like I would remember that, and I don't. I have a lot going on, but I mean, that's something that would definitely stick in my mind, he said. When we asked the woman about the contradictions in a phone interview on Friday, she said that she stands by her statement.
Biggs said about that interview, sad that an autistic woman lies like this and lawyer didn't vet this at all. Then accuses Jay-Z of rape. Glad the truth is coming out. Memphis Bleak.
Okay, this is my Bleak said, yeah, they really tried to guide Marcy to raise those. Better clip my IG. Talk to me what I do wrong. Look. Wait. Before I speak, let's see what 50 has. Before I go on, let's see 50 has something to say.
Bleak said niggas really tried to God. Hashtag Marcy don't raise those. Even 50 Cent had to come out and retract some of his jokes. 50 posted this picture saying not guilty. Then he wrote in the comments, man, the bitch lying. Her own daddy wouldn't support the story. Could have ruined the man's life. What the fuck? Busby gotta pay for this shit. Now you know you messed up when you got 50 actually defending Jay-Z. Now, this leaves Tony Busby in a very awkward spot. He spoke out yesterday after the mistake was made public. He said, yo guys, look, Jane Doe's case was referred to our firm by another firm who actually vetted it prior to sending it to us. I hope you guys are watching what Tony's trying to do right there. Hey, listen, man, we didn't go seeking this out. Somebody gave it to us, and those people that gave it to us, they vetted her, not us. Now, Tony goes on to say, our client remains fiercely adamant that what she has stated is true to the best of her memory. We always do our best to vet each claim made, just as we did in this case. This has been extremely distressing for her, to the point she has experienced seizures and had to seek medical treatment due to stress. Well, what about the stress that you're putting on Jay-Z over these quote-unquote false claims? Interesting, Tony. Listen, man, you guys get in the comments below.
All right, now, let's speak on it. Now, the fact that any father, I don't give a damn what you're going on, how much stress is going on. I think you would know if you had to go pick your daughter up 5 hours away in New York, and then y'all ride back from home 5 hours. Ain't nobody got nothing to say. Then you 13, right? Where you was at, what you was doing, who you was with. Didn't know you was there, obviously. But there's no question, I just came and got you. But did anybody admits that they said she was autistic? Drop some in the comments. Drop some in the comments. Like, respect to all of them. You know what I'm saying? All of them. So her being autistic, meaning, you tell me, ain't nobody noticed that in the behavior. I don't see Jay just pushing up on autistic women being this type. Like 13-year-old autistic at that. So you ain't looking full grown. So unless you like small, gorilla and small, you can't even take gorilla serious because she's so small. So come on. So it's a lot of holes in this story, man. It's just obviously it is what it is. I just want to drop some in the comment, but we want to bring another perspective to Jay's situation. Understand the difference in, you coming a real one with that. You heard the lawyer, he back to the beach, she having seizures. So now, what's gonna happen? They finna get on that lawyer head. That lawyer though, just know, keep this in mind, drop some in the comments. He representing 120 people that got claims against Buck. So that this may kind of sway some like lightning sense. They ain't saying Puff coming home. I'll be surprised, but I would be surprised. You know what I'm saying? But Puff got at least sit down for 10 years, if nothing else in the story. But I would be surprised. But the fact that Jay ain't going, he let it be known I ain't going. NFL still supporting me. So check my last video, man. Roger Goodell, NFL, they still support you. So let me know what you think, man. Drop something in the comments, man. You know what I'm saying? Just throw that jacket on the brother. How many of y'all really had Jay Cook, man? Let me know. You know what I'm saying? This man 219 TV Mouse C. Tap in and get Midwest connected, man, to be looking out for the videos. And we'll be right back with something else. So we got to come back and talk about that. Everything. You know what I'm saying? Black blood, but it's fine. It's all right.